Alongside rush forward Matt Hubbard before Game 2 of the series against the Tahoe Night Monsters tonight. Hubs, is it good to be able to stay in one spot for a week and kind of get settled here?
Oh yeah, it's really nice, Corey. Yeah, getting settled in with my roommate Eki, and moving all the furniture in, and making the bed, just the little things. I think it helps just to stay comfortable, get comfortable with the guys, and get into a good weekend here against Tahoe.
Yeah, I'll start with that first. It's Friday night, and we're in Allen. You're in Cedar Rapids, or sorry, Iowa City, just got traded. We're thinking, all right, Sunday you'll come in, meet the guys on Monday, and skate for the week. Dave calls you Friday night at like midnight and says, hey, can you come down, pack up all your things, and come down Saturday? You say yes. What were those 12 or so hours like for you?
It's definitely a scramble to get packed. I probably only packed 10% before getting that call, but that's professional hockey. You got to be ready to play whenever, and guy went down. That's hockey. You need a guy to step up, and you got to do what you got to do. So yeah, I packed probably till 2 a.m. Got on a flight around 9, woke up around 6:30, and ready to go against Allen. So yeah.
So when you get off the flight at like noon or so, get in around 1:30, 7 o'clock game, can you really prepare at all, or is it just hockey instincts taking over?
Yeah, you're just running on instincts, like trying to get a nap as soon as I get to the hotel, get my pregame in me, go, move the legs a bit, get on the bike in the hotel gym, and, just, trust that all the training you've had up to this point will take you there. So I didn't actually feel that bad. You obviously have adrenaline, you're coming to a new team, new system, and you're excited to play hockey at the end of the day. So I think I actually felt pretty good considering all the circumstances we're talking about. So yeah.
How different are the systems and coaching styles of Dave and your folks back in Iowa?
Pretty similar. Like Chuck Weber and Dave all coached at RPI together. So I've talked with some of the guys. Honestly, it almost would have been better if they had different systems because they're very similar. But then there's like the odd thing that is different. So almost like, I'm running on autopilot sometimes because they're very similar, like I said. But then there's, the slight detail that Dave wants differently. And just adjusting with that, like communicating with Dave. He's been really good with me, pulling me to the board, or I'm coming to him with questions. And it's been a pretty smooth adjustment, I'd say, so far, though.
How similar are Chuck and Dave?
As a coach or like systems?
Well, systems, yes. How about as people?
They're both really easy to talk to. I think both are genuinely good humans. I see a lot of similarities in the way they coach and they approach the game and the messages they're trying to preach. And I got nothing good things to say about both of them. I've enjoyed my time here too, so I'm loving it so far.
So what are you hoping to do on the ice? Obviously Saturday, can't give you a fair shake. You played 5 or so minutes, but full week now, what are you hoping to accomplish?
Yeah, I think I want to stick to my game. Obviously, I think Dave's been preaching to me and our line. He wants us to forecheck pretty hard and use our physicality, and then along with that, I want to use what I'm pretty good at as well. Like I want to use my speed. I want to produce when I can as well, and make some plays when they're there. So I think combining those two this weekend is a goal for me, and looking forward to showing what I can do here.
Do you take pride in being a fourth line guy and trying to bring the energy to the group?
Yeah, I think I've always been a guy that wherever you put me, I can excel, and I want to help the team win wherever. I've told Dave like I can play either wing or center, whatever you need me to play, and whatever role you need me to play, I'm here to help the team win. So. Right now that's in a fourth line role, so I'm looking forward to being the best fourth liner I can be right now. So yeah.
So you transferred schools twice, went to 3 different colleges. How different, and can that even compare to a trade a week into the season?
No, I've thought about that. Like, would that prepare me? But no, it's just it's mid-season, right? It's different when you're moving schools or moving teams in the off season. But yeah, that was the first for me getting traded kind of like that mid-season. So yeah, it is different. That's a good question. Yeah, it's a little different for sure. Yeah.
How welcoming here were the guys?
They were great. Obviously, like you said, I'm fresh off a plane right into the game, playing sewer. Just meeting guys for the first time. So honestly, there's nothing better than sewer to break the ice with guys and have a couple keep ups with them. So no, I felt very welcome here so far, and yeah, I love this group.
How was your sewer game?
It needs work. Yeah, it's not terrible. I can keep the ball up, but there's definitely guys that are noticeably better. So yeah, trying to improve that.
Who are those guys?
I guess on this team, there seems like I think Murph's pretty good. I think Wilkes made it to a couple final threes. Bernie's pretty good. But yeah, I'm still trying to scout out the players. I don't know all of them yet. I'm just trying to stay in as long as I can. So yeah.
I got to ask about your one trip you made here back in March. This is not your first time in Rapid City. I know it didn't go too well for you. 0-3, thank you. But being able to play here, anything you recall about that trip and the games you played?
I remember the atmosphere was good. Like I like the ice surface too. I felt like it's nice and cold. I always like good ice, so I remember that. I also remember, yeah, it wasn't too fun of losing a few times there. So tough bus ride home. But yeah, I do remember the fans. I remember the atmosphere, and I thought it was a good place to play. So yeah.
How was the adjustment going from Alaska Fairbanks, D1, had a great year in college, led your team, to coming into an Iowa team that's in a playoff push, and they made the playoffs to start your pro career last year?
Yeah, I mean, I was very fortunate to be a part of that team that are playing playoff hockey. Not everyone gets to play playoff hockey, right? So, I was fortunate to learn under the coaches there and the players there of how they prepare as pros and what really goes into being a playoff team at this level. So I think it was really valuable experience coming to this year and something that I'll take with me going forward.
What the heck is it like playing college hockey or hockey in general in Fairbanks, Alaska?
It was fun. It was a really enjoyable last year. We're flying around everywhere. I think we covered the most miles in college history. I don't know if it'll ever be broken. Our rink was getting renovated, so we only had about 8 home games, which normally it's half and half. So we were really tight knit group. We're obviously in hotels a lot, and we're with the boys all the time. So I've never been a part of a closer team in college hockey, just based on the proximity of us being together all the time. Got to see a lot of cool places and a lot of sights, and I wouldn't trade that year for the world. So I really liked it.
Favorite road, rink, or city you played in?
In college, we played Minnesota Gophers last year, and it was a packed house. So I mean, we won the first game in a shootout, and that was really cool. Off the top of my head, that was a really fun experience.
Do you keep the airline miles?
We did. I went into pro right after, like you said, but there was a tradition of the seniors getting on to go a senior trip at the end of the year. It makes it a little complicated now with guys transferring because usually it's 4 years of built-up miles. But no, you could go on a trip after with that. So yeah, it's pretty nice of them.
Okay, what are you hoping to accomplish here tonight? Big game 2, looking to take the lead in the series.
Yeah, as a group, I think we could build a lot on our second period last game. I think we really showed what our pressure and our passion in that period and what we can do in a very quick turnaround of that, a tougher first period. Obviously getting those 2 points this weekend or this tonight, and then building towards that on Saturday to follow the weekend up with the win.
Hubs, I appreciate this. Thank you.
I appreciate it.